Let us start. Thank you, Hemant, first of all, inviting on this important uh, this training program and this capacity building initiatives. And I have worked on this structure, these kind of the structures last 10 year before, and presently also in the Uttarakhand government, we are looking for the some of these kind of the project like to development of our homestay and the tourism kind of the things, and incorporating the features like the traditional architecture of Uttarakhand and as well as in the hilly regions. So the this present this for in this presentation, I am focusing on this traditional Koti Minar architecture of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, and I think who have visited in these places and in the, some of the high reaches of you can see then the northern part of the Uttarakhand and in the south west southeast side of the Himachal Pradesh, you find these kind of the traditional Koti Minar architecture. And the Koti Banal, the name Koti Banal architecture was given by me and Dr. Piyush Rotela. And after these structures having having also highlighted in the various other newspapers also, and they are also in the picture of these the World Housing Encyclopedia and other forums. So now let's start, and I'm giving very simple kind of the presentation, but we have find out in this structure. And my concentration, because as Hemant has said, my expertise is on the earthquake engineering. So what we have found on these structures, they are made as such a manner by our ancestors so that they can survive the big earthquake in this region. And when you see my presentation, then you realize also that how these structures have been made and what kind of the features they have incorporated in these kind of the structures. So now let's begin. uh, I think everybody, you must know, and somebody, I think maybe if you are not in this field, then this is the earthquake hazard map of India, and you can see this is the red. This is the red place where this like the northeast place, or in the this of the some of the part of the Bihar, Uttarakhand, and Himachal Pradesh, in the Jammu and Kashmir, and the some of the Bhuj part are the zone 5. Zone 5 means earthquake intensity may be very high in this region. When the earthquake can strike in this area, and then the earthquake intensity will be very high. Also the zone 4, most of these Ganga basin region, or we can see that is our main river basins like in the Srinagar, in the Jhelum, Ravi, and in the Simla, in the some of the part also. And this most of the part are in the green, which we are seeing is the zone 4. The zone 4 and 5 are the mostly where the earthquake intensity will be very high in case of that earthquake, and also the possibility of the earthquake is also very high. It might be that the very frequent earthquake activities are noticed many times in this area. So while we are living in this area, this is not the just we are nowadays experiencing this kind of the earthquake. Earthquake is a very natural phenomena, and it could be happen from the very long way. I think when we can see that when this our earth has been evolved, and that time this Himalayan region has been developed, so this area is very much sensitive to the earthquake kind of the activity. So now I am giving some insight, like in the recent, we have the two earthquake in the 1 or 2 days gap in the Gorkha and the Dholka in 2015, the Nepal. I think you have must heard about this, and maybe some you have experienced the earthquake shaking of these earthquakes. This is the near about the 7.9 Richter scale magnitude in the Nepal region, and the intensity will be intensity was also very high. Then in the 2005, we have this Kashmir earthquake also in this Himalayan region, and this is the earthquake is very high, and many of the peoples have been died. Many buildings are were also collapsed or the damaged in this area. And the major part is in the Pakistan part. Most of the buildings are have been damaged. Another is then this 55 year back. This is the Arunachal 1950. This is one of the big earthquake, and also in the Bihar, Nepal 1934, and this is one of the big earthquake in this region. And some liquefaction kind of the things are also where also liquefaction were also happened in this area. And then this Kangra 1905 in the Himachal Pradesh, and this is the one of the very important earthquake in this region. And while we are studying and we are calculating the many kind of the thing, so it was near about 8 magnitude earthquake, which we have estimated at the time, because at that time this magnitude scale was not there, but by the intensity of this earthquake, we have the scientists have calculated the this magnitude is near about 8. Another is the Shillong 1897 and the Garhwal earthquake. So you can see that the whole entire Himalaya region are prone to the earthquake. So this is the some of the big earthquake in this region. And now this is the history what we have. I have written in the tabular form. You can see 1920, this is the Kumaon earthquake. Then 1803, this is Garhwal. Then this another, this is Assam. 1905 Kangra. And 1934 Bihar, Nepal, then Assam. 1991 this recently 20 year back in the Uttarakhand region. These two earthquakes are very important for studying, and we have lots of data about these earthquakes. The Garhwal earthquake, one is Uttarkasi earthquake, another is 1999 is the Chamoli earthquake. So while we are seeing these earthquakes, so most of the damages are concentrated in the hilly regions, and the most of the houses which are vulnerable to the this kind of the seismic activity and the seismic from the seismic waves. So these are collapsed, and some of the peoples have lost also life. Many damages have also occurred in this region. So Garhwal and Chamoli are the these are the two earthquakes. So while we are thinking about hello.
Yes, we had actually lost your connection in between. Now it is there.
I'm audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible now.
Okay. Thank you. So energy accumulated and not released last 200 years. So you can see these are the bars, and this is a famous Professor Williams photographs. So you can see this is the 1885, 1905, 1803, and then this 1934. So energy are accumulating. Still, this area is very much sensitive for the earthquake. And after 200 year, this is the long gap is now there. And after 1803. This is called the Garhwal earthquake. There was presently we have not experienced any big earthquake in this area. 1803 after. So I am showing these slides to you that this region is highly sensitive. It is not in this era, but you can see the back of 200 year back, 300 year back, or the 400 year back. This region has this long history of the seismic activity. And also if you see the recent activities, so if you mark every month we have some earthquake activities are there, like the 4.1, 4.0, 3.8. So now we have a dense network of the earthquake also, for the earthquake measurement. And then we can observe that the whole this Himachal Pradesh region, Uttarakhand region, Kashmir region, we have lots of earthquake and which are coming regularly in this region. So these are some of the photographs which we have, like the 1991 Uttarkasi and 1999 Chamoli earthquake. So you can see how these our vernacular structures has been damaged, where the seismic resistance features were not incorporated properly. You can see these kind of the damages in this area. And this is the Chamoli earthquake. So you can see that complete buildings were damaged completely. This is the complete wash out of these kind of the buildings. So these are the cracks in some of the buildings which are not properly built. So if we are comparing these recent activities of Uttarkasi and Chamoli, you can see the life losses, human lives, like in the 800 near about in the Uttarkasi, and Chamoli 1991 is one just a little bit less, but due to this density of the people, this number of people has been lost in this life. But you can see the damaged house is more or less same. More than 70,000 houses were damaged in this earthquake. So this region having a long history of earthquake, and peoples are very well known about these kind of the activities in this area. So this is a little background. So now you can see the residential built environment in our hilly village. If you go to Himachal, or you can visit to the Uttarakhand, and you find these kind of the structures in the all this Yamuna Valley, Ganga Valley, or in the Himachal Pradesh, in the Kangra Valley, and every part you can see these kind of the structures in the hilly region. So this is the typical residential built environment in the hilly region. Now I am coming to this Koti Banana architecture of the multi-story building. So while I am discussing about these earthquake activities in this region, so our ancestors are very much known about these kind of the activity in this region, and they also, because at that time science is not much mature and technology is not there, but their experiences are are very big, and they learn about what they are at that time, that what they are happening in this area. So this is you can see the magnificent kind of this architecture they have evolved at that time. And this is the high region of this Himachal Pradesh, or in Uttarakhand, in the Uttarkasi you can see, or in the Himachal Pradesh you can see. So these kind of the structures you have find, and you see the all earthquake resilience features are incorporated by these people. And this is by the local masons, or you can say that this is the we call in the Hindi the Raj Mistri. Raj Mistri means they know the secret of buildings. So you can see these structures, and when you go there, and then you find this is the 5-story building, 4-story building, and they know about how to build these kind of the structure in this region. And this is the map where we have found these structures, and most of the regions from the Uttarkasi and in the Himachal Pradesh is this is the northeast region of this Himachal Pradesh. We have found these kind of the structures, and this is the view in the 1910, the Middle East. This is the one of the historian of from the England, and he has visited these places and in the Rajgadi area, and then they have prepared the sketches of these buildings, how they have built this, and then also in the Kangra Valley they have he has also visited in this area, and you find that they have also created, because at that time not a good camera, but he have made these by the hand sketch these kind of the structures. And they have found these structures are very intact. People are living at that time also, and if you go to some literature also, then you find out these kind of the evidences. So our main investigation about the Koti Banala architecture is this construction type, which has been in practice for more than 200 years. So what we have found that, so at least 200 years, the peoples at that area, they have evolved these structures and they have built these kind of the structure. And this architecture style was predominant in near about 200 years in this region. And we have investigated this region very closely, and we have taken out some of the samples from this buildings, like some of the stones, and also some we can say that this woods also, and with wood mostly the Devdar woods they have used in this region. And then we have done this carbon dating of these buildings, and then we found this is the more than 900 years these ages of these buildings. So this is one of the eye-opening of with us. And then if I am talking about this evolvement of the science and everything, then the law of Newton was come into existence after 16th century. And these structures are made in 12 or 13th century. So you can find out how these peoples have evolved these techniques. And later I will also tell you what earthquake resistant features which are nowadays in our code. In our codal provisions now, we are recommending these things to the high-rise building, and they have already evolved this thing by their experiences, and they have also used it on to how this they can make their houses the earthquake resistant. And another is the similarity in the architecture principle and structure details such that possibly evolve under the one single architecture school. So what we have found that this is the one single architecture kind of the things, and because most of the buildings are the same kind of the prototypes of these buildings, so where we found that this is the one architecture style, and these peoples have been evolved in this area. So now I am coming to the some of the this architectural aspect, and then there's some of the technical, another this structural aspect of this building. But we have given, and you can find out these our papers also. I think 5-6 paper we have published on this, and some of the reports are also on these structures. And now the many peoples are now approaching, many history background peoples are now, they are also going to find out what are the other aspects of these buildings in this area. So the most important, the first important thing is the sitting. So where these Kotipallar architecture has been located, this is very close to each other. Generally, people in the one of the villages, you find complete villages having the such kind of the structure. So the four-story buildings are called the this is called the Chaukat, and this 5-story building is called the Panchpura, and the 4 is called the Chaukat and Panchpura. Most of the four-story kind of the thing, and some, if the peoples are like some head of these villages, or you can say the head of this area or the community, so these peoples are living in the Panchpura. This is a 5-story kind of the building, and some Panchpura are also using as a temples in this area. So so you can see, and this some of the peoples are still they are living on this area, and but the comfort is not as much now which we are nowadays expecting on this structure. But these are very inside. If when you go to the inside of these structures, you find very warm also, and you can find, because the high hilly region, so the snowfalls are very high in this region also, and also the cold is very high. So you can find that the buildings are very warm, and these kind of the structures are generally the building distances. Peoples are living on these structures, and the buildings are not very far away, 2 to 4 meters from each other, and in the one of the area is the completely sitting on these kind of the classification. Another is this building configuration. So this is the most important aspect, and which we are nowadays also telling to our peoples also, and to aware to the people. These structures are very simple. Very simple means the rectangular plan, or you can see some of the square plan also, and the width, length up to the width are varying the 4 to 8 meters. So very rectangular plan. And if you are nowadays, if you go to the IS 189 and this IS 4326 also, so you find that we can be in the earthquake resistance feature, we are also giving that this is the if our building is very simple plan, very rectangular, or the square plan, then the torsional forces are very come, and the torsional forces are come, then the earthquake, this building will be the earthquake safe. So the people know about this fact. So these whole buildings are in the make on the very simple plan, either they are rectangular, either or the square plan. And also ratio is the 1.1 to the 1.4 also, and this is as per our recommended value, as per the, if you go to any code, like if you go to the FEMA code of the ASC code, any code, so this ratio is the within the limit, and then these peoples have evolved these kind of the techniques, and they are using these configurations. So you can see this is the typical, this is some of the buildings having the single unit building, and some are the double unit also. Double unit means that there are 2 floors are rising parallelly to each other, and another is the one single unit kind of the thing. So you can see that this is the plan of the ground floor of the single unit, and another this is the 2 unit building being the vertically separated by the one wall. This is the one wall are there, and this is this kind of the simple structure, simple plan they have evolved on these structures. Another very important part is the detailing of the cantilevered balcony construction at the 4th story. So you can see the whole this top story is a very light structure, very light, and they are making such a manner that the ground story are heavy, then the reducing the weight, and finally this is the top story having the very less weight. So this is the completely wooden structure, and you can see the balcony are supported by the cantilever wooden log of the flooring system. So these kind of the supporting system they have evolved. You can see this is the supporting system. And you can see where you have where peoples are also, you can see here the peoples are living also, and they are also using this space for the some other like the kitchen and other parts also. So these are the very light kind of the structures are there, and the balcony construction on the fourth floor. So most of the these you can find on the most of the structure at the top floor, these kind of the arrangements. Then the another most important part is the foundation platform, and this is the dry packed stone masonry. And what we have found, and it is very interestingly that these are the on the solid platform. It is even in the not a single building, because we have now, I think we have personally visited near about more than 100 structures, and no building has been found in the soft soil or the any kind of the area where the landslide can be happen. So this is the foundation platform where the dry packed dressed masonries are there, and generally buildings are rest on the raised and elaborated stone filled platform out of the dry stone masonry, which is the continuation of the foundation trench made of the field and the rubble stone. So the in beneath they are in the complete foundation 3 to 4 feet, and then they raise these structures also, and the height of this platform is the 2 to 4 meters. So this is the entire, these kind of the structures are made on the these kind of the solid platform. So you can see the how emphasis they are giving on the stability of the foundation. So stability of foundation is the very high, and they build these structures on these these structures. Now another important thing, like we have make some calculations also, some simple calculation of the 5-story Koti Minar structures also. So you can find there the inter-story heights. So you can also see this is the completely same, more or less same. You can see the 2.5 meter, 2.5, 2.5, and at the top floor, this is the 2.3 and the 2.2. So more or less this is the symmetry can be maintained. So this is also we are giving nowadays in our coder provisions. So we are not find any of the structures having the some variation in between these. In the latter part, I am showing also some modification, because now the people are also because the 2.5 meter is a very less height. Sometimes if some people are people having the height is more, then they have some problems, because they come out from, or they come out or inside, go inside the building. So they have to be sometimes that the door or windows are very small, so they have to be head to be down also on this structure. So but they have no compromise on this kind of the thing, because they know the stability and the complete structural integrity is very important. So you can see the 2.5 meter, these kind of the inter-story height, and it is maintained in the all of these era, these 200 years, which was evolved, I think, in 13th century or 14th century. So this is the completely 2.5 meter. This is completely evolved in the 2.5 meter or near about 2.2 meter. But the latter part where the modification, I am also showing some photographs of the modification. At that time, people have also modified these structures, and they have these structures are also making we have found that the damages due to the some of the reason, maybe the earthquake, or maybe the some of the structural deformations, or these kind of the things. So you can see this is the plan side, front, and the rear elevation of this Koti Minar architecture. So we have calculated some of this method from the IS 1893, and then we have calculated these things. So you can see this is the rear side of this building, and this is the front side, and this is also the back side also. So we have made these kind of the classifications. So this is the mainly the elevation of this Koti Minar architecture. And the another structural and architectural part is, you can see in this slide, the vertical cross section illustrating the wall construction in the lower carriage part and the upper part. So you can see that how they have judiciously they are using this, the closed packed stone, and the use of the wood also. This is the stone masonry, you can see, and then you can see this is the shear pins. So in between, this is the completely wooden part, and in between we have found the shear keys. This is called the gujja or the khunta. They have from the each connections they made this khunta kind of the thing. So they make this structure very flexible also, and while the some earthquake shaking or such kind of the things are there, so these structures can also be make some ductile arrangement, and then these structures can be survive at that time also. So you can see that this is the timber locks also. This is a complete timber lock, and this is a very heavy timber lock, and we are amazed that while we are studying these buildings, that how the peoples have used these kind of the big locks, because at that time machines are not also there. So how they are carry these things, and what are the they have how they have used these kind of the locks, and what method they have applied to put on these kind of the lock in this structure. So this is the one another kind of the investigation, you can the research problem and investigation. We If somebody are interested, then they can go there and they can find out how they have this big locks they have used it, and how they have drag out. Because in the plain area, if you are going to the like the Taj Mahal, or in the some of the big monuments of this Rajasthan, or in the south of the big temples, and this is the plain area where they have using some like they are using some sand also, from the sand, or some of the you can see that the big animals like the elephants and these but this is the completely hilly region, so there is no elephant, nothing in the about the sand. So what techniques they have evolved to put to make these put these locks in the 4-story or the 5-story. So this is one another research problem. So anybody, if you are interested, so this is the one of the issue you can also check out, and we can write some papers and something in this also. Then you can see that the arrangement of the wooden log and the well-dressed flat stone for the walls. So you can see that there's open space. So these are the wooden logs. You can see this is the complete wooden logs, and this is the vertical arrangements. And here we can see in between these two, there is the shear. This is the shear keys, or the shear pins are there. And this is the completely running from the foundation to the top level also, and this is a complete wooden log. So here these shear keys are also incorporated. So this is the 1-story, then this is the another story, then another story, and you can see, and this is the arrangement at the you can see at the corners. This is the complete wooden log, then this is the two shear keys here, there, and then the wooden log, then shear keys. So these kind of the arrangement are there, and the open space, the height is this height is only the 30 centimeter, and this is the flat stone, this is the dry packed stone masonry basically, and there is no adhesive kind of the things are used. This is the completely flat stone and the well dressed stone, which we are also recommending nowadays for the our this masonry buildings, which we are generally peoples are made for their housing at the village areas, or the peoples who are living in the villages, and also in the high regions where these stones can be made in the abandoned. So we can say that you can use the flat stone, because flat stone are the very important, because they can make some good connections also into the wall. So these kind of the flat stone there. So we have also found out that there is no single stone we have found it is the undressed. All stones are properly dressed, and then this is the dry packed masonry between these arrangements. And you can see the arrangement of the wooden log and the well dressed flat stone for the wall. And so you can see this is the clear picture about this. So you can see this is the windows, and then this is the dry packed masonry. So this is one of the biggest in the Koti village in the Uttarakhand, and this is one of the biggest Panchapura at that Panchapura, which is situated in this area. So if you want to visit this, then you can find this still, and people have used now. This is one of the major activity where like a temple, or one of the main monument of this village. Another important part is the wall. So what we have found out there, the thickness of the wall is determined by the thickness of the two parallel arranged wooden logs. So two wooden logs, inner side is the wooden log also, and the outer side wooden logs has been also used. And in between the 50 to 60 centimeter, you can say, then 1 feet near about this is the completely wooden packed, and the structure is further reinforced by the wooden beam, which are perpendicular attached to the wooden log at the middle of the wall, connecting two parallel outer walls. So two walls are connected by this wall. So this is the floor connection. So while we are studying, this is the floor connection is there. You can see this is the shear pins also. So this is the shear pins are going there, and the vertical shear key also here, and this is the wall thickness here there. This is the wooden planks they have used, and then the two timber blocks. So the beams are provided the joist supporting the floorboard of the each floor. So each floor has been supported by the joist basically, and this is the completely floor. This is the completely running parallelly to the each other, and the floor is and the floor is floor is placed in the joist. These joists are parallelly. These are placing to the each and every walls. And the one important aspect which what we have found about that safety against the overturning. So you know that in the earthquake case, generally the overturning effect are very predominant. So the how they have evolved these things. So these are the some technical things which we have amazed, because I have also visited this place with the some of our foreign experts also, and we have write one this report. This is the World Housing Encyclopedia, and the last slide you can see this report also. And the World Housing Encyclopedia, this report has been also incorporated. And if you want to go very detail about these structures, so you go to the World Housing Encyclopedia report, and then you find out the other technical nitty-gritties of this building. The wall are parallel to the floor beams, are supported in or out of plane action by providing a large timber block longer than the building dimension and having the holes at the two ends. So this is the one peculiar things we have found that in these walls. So how they are using these things for the safety against the overturning. So you can see the floor beams are supported in the out of plane action. So you know, I think out of plane means that when earthquake will be hit, so the buildings will some of the forces are the in plane, which are coming directly to the plane side. So it is the in plane, and another is the horizontally to the 90 degree of this. This is the out of plane. So generally the buildings are fail on the out of plane failure. So they have used these the wooden blocks longer than the building dimension and having hole at the two ends. So this is the one important thing they have make on these buildings, and which can resist this building for the overturning. Another important things, and this is the one of the amazing things what we have found, that nowadays we are talking about the shear key on these high-rise RCC buildings. So they have used the vertical member as a shear key, having the length equal to the several story height is inserted into the hole, which provided the support to the wall in the out of plane direction. So both sides, these kind of the arrangement they have made. So you can see this is a shear key. You can see. So this is the also some shear keys. You can see this is not this was damaged by the people, because people are not know about the scientific fact about these things. But this we have found the evidence of these shear keys there. You can see this is the complete shear key. This is the shear key, and this is in the this is in the Chaukhar. This is in the Panchpura. So you find these shear keys are there, and the both side of the wall they have provided these shear key. So when the earthquake will be hit on these structures, so this shear key can be resist these forces, and they can profit it for the overturning of these buildings. Another important aspect, and this is also the architectural aspect, is the opening in the wall. So we are talking that the opening of the wall is a very important aspect, and nowadays we are talking about that if the opening are less or openings are not very big, then these structures can survive the big earthquake also. And for the load resisting or masonry wall structure or the confined masonry structure, these kind of the arrangements are very much necessary for avoiding the earthquake damages. So the Koti Minar architecture is generally having the single small entry and relatively small openings. So you have also seen in the some of my photographs above that these structures are very small entry and very small openings, and surrounded by the strong wooden beam, which we have already nowadays we are talking about in the courts also to compensate the loss of the strength. We are saying that if we are giving some in the load masonry buildings or the confined masonry building, if we want some openings or some of the door openings are required, then we have we will provide it, but we are providing the jam the both side. So these kind of the jam has been also incorporated in this Koti Minar architecture, and this is one of the eye opening of these things, because these people know about this fact that the openings can be reduced the strength of the wall. And in general, no window are provided. In the ground level, we have found the no window. So this is the one important thing, because the ground is the most important and the most severe earthquake forces has been occurred in that at the ground level. So while we are distributing the earthquake force while we are calculating, analyzing the earthquakes, the most of the forces coming at the ground story. So in the ground story, they are not providing any kind of this window. So this detailing of the doors and window opening, you see very small doors. Sometimes if some taller people can go inside, and they have to be head down. And these are, you can see, this is the window, and this is the window also. So these kind of the things they have already incorporated in these buildings, and which are nowadays are, we are talking about the in the earthquake codes also. Another is what are the functional planning. So how these peoples have this is the one important aspect, how they have involved these things. And we have made a questionnaire, and then we have asked to the different communities in this area, and what are the different kind of the function, because nowadays most of the peoples are not living in these structures. But now because this we have write this report 10 year back, and then we have given to the Uttarakhand government also, and we have recommended that these structures should be used as a homestay or maybe for the some of the tourism purpose. Now I have some information that some of the peoples are now converting these into the homestay, and peoples are loving to stay there to 1 or 2 nights, and they enjoy there, and they can also the villagers and the community have also having some earning source of these kind of the buildings. But we need some state policy and these kind of the things to revive and to survive these kind of the structure. The main function of this building is single family. So generally we found that in the questionnaire, this is the single family house. So most of the houses are in the name of the one single family. And the access to the upper floor is solely provided by the wooden ladder made by the I'm in the next slide, I will show you this thing. So the wooden ladder is the only one thing where we can go inside, and this is the one single wooden trunk has been used. There is no a traditional kind of the staircases have been not used in these structures. So one wooden is there, and this wooden locks have been cut into the different in the different labels, and then they can go inside. Another is that due to their massive walls, some of the building have also been used for the fortress against the enemy attack. So this is the one important aspect. We have found that at that time, in the 300 year back or the 400 year back, some British or Gorkha's army are generally in this area, and they want to be they want to be also go in also conquer these areas also. So these peoples have made such a arrangement that nobody can enter in these houses. So they have made very firm kind of these kind of the buildings, and so nobody can enter these. And how the window and the doors are very small, and also they can lock the inside also. Very big lock are also there, so that they can also, there's a wooden lock are there inside it, so nobody can go inside. Another tales by the local peoples is there are some narrow connection to the closed river still exist, which were used to the supply of the people with the potable water. So when some Gurkhas or this English army have been attacked in this area, so they have used some of these tunnels, small tunnels they have made, and some of the areas we have found that some water recharges kind of the thing. Some small rivers are there, some water streams are there, so they can go inside it also. I have seen one this small hole of these in one of these buildings at the we can say that the ground level, at the basement level, we have found this kind of a thing. So this is interestingly we have given this kind of the thing there. So this is the ladder what I am talking about. So this is the one complete wooden lock, and they have cut out these things, and the cutout they go inside, they go to the upper floor by using these only things. So when sometimes when some Gurkha and some English army will get, so what they can do it, they just remove this thing at the down, and then they close this door, so nobody can enter from here to upside. So this kind of the arrangement they have made on this structure. And this is the basement where I have found these kind of this tunnels to the near about the river recharge belts. These are some modification what I am talking at the start of my presentation. So this is the modification of this Koti Banal construction principle. So in the latter, some of the peoples have changed these things, and they have used for the like the condition for the livable conditions at that time. So you can see these are some strong columns has been there. more or less structures are same, but they have make some arrangement, some another arrangement, but it has reduced the strength of this building naturally, because now you have now modified these things, and then you are not adhering the principle of the safety on this kind of the building. But for the comfort wise, these buildings are more useful. This modification of the Koti-Mallar architecture principle, wooden locks are only arranged in the ring being between. So you can see in the previous structure, this wooden are the completely at 2.5 or 2 meter. We have found the wooden locks, but now the these wooden locks are here, and there is no wooden locks. Then the top you find that there. So these kind of the structures now they are after 200 year or 300 year, when these architecture has been recorded. So we have found that the gap between these wooden locks has been increased, and now some of the peoples are living on these structure, because now this is more comfort, and the more this is the height is, or height of these rooms are very maybe more comfort, giving the more comfort. So but the strength and the safety features are reduced on this, and this kind of the structures are evolved after the some 200 or 300 year after, when while peoples are more giving the
Dr. Girish, there is a break in your
yes.
connection.
Now it is coming?
Yes, now it is okay. Now it's okay. Okay.
Some phones are connected. My laptop is connected by my phone. Sorry for that. Okay. Now this is the architectural aspect.
There is again a disconnection.
Yes. Now it is.
Now it's okay.
Sorry. Yes. So this is the structural system which we have structure. So this is the three main important features what we have find out. This is the timber reinforced stone masonry. This is the hybrid kind of the structure, and this is the timber reinforced. So some part is the, we can say the, this is the structural part, we can say the some of features are the this is the framed kind of the thing, and some of the reinforced kind, this is the timber reinforced kind of the thing. And the most important, these are the gravity load resisting system mostly, because the most of the this load has been also transferred by the gravity load system, but they have taken the full taken care about the how the this horizontal force can deform these structures. And another is the lateral load resisting system. So that the lateral load resisting system is the one of the unique thing that we have found out, and this is that the system of the horizontal pair of the wooden log, which are connected to each other by the wooden shear pins, which I have shown you, act like a wooden frame which is the braced by the well-dressed flat stone in between the logs, increasing the bearing and the lateral capacity of the construction. This is the important finding what we have found in regard to the earthquake resistance on these buildings. And you can see these pins and tenons are there, and then the wooden frames are there, and then this the well-dressed flat stone in between these things, and this can enhance the bearing capacity and also the lateral capacity of this construction. So now in these slides you can see the detailing of the connections means at the wall corner. So you can see that the horizontal placed wooden logs are connected by the rectangular shaped wooden pins. So you can see some of the structures are now they are not very much in use, and peoples have used these wooden for making their new houses. So these woodens are the devdar. This is the devdar is the one of the best tree in the Himalayan region, and they have now the peoples in the area, they have used these wooden, and they have now destroyed these structures. So we have found this is the shear pins. You can see this is the holes are there where the shear pins can be connected. You can see this is the wooden log shear pins they have given. So this is the housed and the nail joint used for the fixing the wooden components. So you can see how these structures have been combined to the upper floor. So this is the one unique thing which we have found in these structures. So this is the one of the important lateral load resisting system in these buildings. So these buildings have been survived since last 1000, I think more than 900 years. These buildings are still surviving many of the structure, and this is the main feature, because In this area, many earthquake has been earthquake, as I have shown you. After we have data from the like the 17th century, but in the 13th century, 14th century, many big earthquake in this region has been occurred, and still these buildings are survived. So this is the one of the unique thing, and this is the these techniques they have evolved for making structural integrity of these structures. Another is the floor and roof system. So the wooden plank is resting on the wooden joist supported by the beams of the wall, and the floor consists of the wooden beam and the plank. So wooden beams and planks has been used for the making the floors, and floors are connected with the each other. And since no cross or inclined plane card, it is expected to act as a flexible diagram. So generally, this is the one negative part there. This is the flexible diagram. So because the no cross or the inclined plank has been used, but they have used some another techniques like the floor beam or the shear pin, which can the wall log, thus provide a support to the wall to the orthogonal to the beam in the out of the plane action. So this is the problem, because they have not used this kind of the inclined plank for the flexible diagram, but for the orthogonally they have used this the out of plane action. They have used the some pinned kind of the thing, and wooden plank and the beams are supported on the slate beam. So you can see this is the inside of this thing. So these kind of the flooring system and the roofs they have used, and this is the generally these kind of the structures are not recommended nowadays, but this is the very light kind of the stone slates we have found there, and this is very light and they have connected with each other very properly. And we have found that in the previous some of the damages due to the earthquake or maybe some other reason, it may be possible that some of these part are also damaged, but the thing is that you can see that these are connected with the each other. Now what we have done presently, because we have not a very high skilled computing facility here in the government, but now I request if somebody is interested, so they can go for the some advanced analysis using some finite element method, or the this response this is the linear static method, or the we can say the linear dynamic method. So they can go for the seismic performance of this Koti Manal architecture. So what we have done, we have used the some codal provision, and then what we have found is the one of the highest building in this area. Then we have calculated the design base here of the Koti Banal structure, where the total is the 700 kilonewton. That works out the 23% of the total seismic weight of the building. And it was find out that the detailed investigation of the number of the building in the area clearly revealed that the age-old structure system are still intact. So if you go there, you find still these structure. I think near about 500, 600 buildings you have. If you want to go there and visit there, you found these structure are still intact there. And this is one of the unique thing. And this is the even the non-structural component had been not damaged. It is a very remarkable thing that the many of the non-structural like these staircases or inside there are some places of the places they have developed for the this water this is the water play for the water for the fire burning places and these kind of the thing. Hello.
Yes, Girish. Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Girish.
Yes. So the seismic activity, despite being located in the most severe zone of the earthquake damage risk, zone 5, having experienced many earthquakes. So it is in the zone 5, completely zone 5, in the Himachal also zone 5, in the Uttarakhand also zone 5, and still these buildings are there. So they are still intact there. Even the at least what we have found there, the dB ground shaking, at least they have been occurred in this the lifespan. So dB is the codal provision, the design basis earthquake. So at least the dB they have experienced, at least these structures have been experienced the dB. So the if they're in the dB shaking, these structures are still survive. So we have to be look after very seriously about the what nitty-gritties they have used, and we have to be also the government system, and also for the social or the some another aspect, we have to be go for the protecting these structures also. So this study I have done, and you can see the last floor, you can see the 700 kilonewton force. So this is the unique thing. As I am told that they are not using any openings, only the small doors are there to going inside. So there is no window, nothing else in that at the ground story, and the 700 kilonewton force has been here. And this is the, I think, near about the you can say the dB they have experienced in this structure, and still these structures are intact. So this table I had prepared. You can understand that what are the seismic features on these, and what are the seismic deficiencies. And if we saw about the main important structural element is the wall. So the seismic deficiency is the wall thickness is up to the 1.5 feet, leading to the high dead load. So this is the seismic deficiency. But the earthquake resilient features are three. First is the flexibility during the dynamic shaking, since no rigid mortar is used. So because the no mortar or no adhesive has been used, the flexibility is more. And another is the bearing capacity is just too high of the vertical. So they have used a big thick wall and the load transfer mechanism on the bearing capacity. So this is a very important thing. The bearing capacity too high, the vertical loads can be taken care very easily. Third is the very important earthquake resilient feature is the prevention of the out of plane by using the shear key and outside the ranging of the several stories. So this is a very important part, and these three important features have reduced the seismic deficiency of these walls also. And earthquake damage, no damage pattern caused by the earthquake have ever been reported. So I personally visited near about more than 100 buildings, and we have found there is no damage in the wall. The damage which we have seen in these buildings are due to the only the peoples are not want to live in these places, so they just deteriorated, and they have abandoned these places also, and they use these things and on the thing. So no structural damage wall we have found. Another important element is the structure is the frame. So the block house wooden style is there. Seismic deficiency, no, but you can see the how important earthquake resilient feature are there. There are 5 earthquake resilient feature they have used on these frames, which we are talking nowadays for the this RCC buildings also. One is the spectral load bearing structure system. So the load is not, it is distributed. Load is not on the single floor. It is distributed evenly in the each and every floor. Another is the bearing of the shearing force through the shear piece tenon connection. You can see I have also saw about these things, the pin and tenon connection between the wooden logs. So this is completely running from the top floor to the ground floor. Another is the flexibility and the weather resistance due to the use of the Devdar timber. So they have used these cedar this is Devdar timber in this area, and it's very flexible and weather resistance. And still if you go there and then you find out that they are still there, and the flexibility of Devdar is also very good. Another is the beams are mostly rectangular in shape with the width to height ratio is 2:3, and a cross section area larger than needed to the adequate safety. So this is the most important feature, and which we are talking in the codal provisions also. So beams are rectangular shape and width to height ratio is 2:3. So the cross sectional area is larger. So that we have found that these structures are still surviving due to the many seismic activity in this area. Another important thing is the openings are surrounded by the wooden element, which are the part of the frame. So generally these all you have seen that these wooden surroundings by these open area. So this is also the resistance feature for these buildings. Another is the roof. So there are some deficiencies there. The high load due to the heavy roofing material. The slate, as I have already told you, the slate slides are there. Inverted pendulum effect due to the concentrated mass of the building, larger dimension. And the third is but the earthquake larger dimension of the upper story, thus leading the higher story masses, is compensated by the use of the less stone and the more wooden element. You have seen that at the top floor, they have used the more wooden elements. So this can reduce the weight very drastically. So while we are analyzing this load calculation of this building, so I have also found that I have taken the density of the wood and density of the stones also. So that these weights are very the top story, the weight are very less. So this can enhance some of the seismic resilient feature of these buildings. Another is the floor. Floor is the flexible. Flexible frames are generally not recommended in the earthquake cases, but the floor beam that run from the middle to one wall of the opposite wall provided the additional stability of the wall. So this is an important feature they have incorporated there. The floor beam that run from the middle of the one wall to the opposite wall provide the additional safety. So it was flexible, but the thing is that they are using this floor beam for the middle. This one of the additional stability. This they have provided the complete wooden beams there. So these are the some technical aspect, and I think you must apply appraises of these things that our ancestors have known about these things. While there is no Newton and there is no shear force, there is no tensile force, there is no compressive force, but they know these kind of the engineering when there was, as we can say, that there is no engineering at that time, and these kind of the feature we have found these kind of the structure in the other part of the India also, like in our some of the our temple architecture, or the some of our in the Rajasthan we have some these kind of the monuments on the some of the big this this kila and these kind of the things also. So we have found these kind of the thing, but the most important part is the how they have evolved these kind of the techniques, because in this region we have not a very big history, a very great history about the different kind of the kingdom, because in this area generally the kingdoms are the local kingdoms are there. So these people have derived these kind of the technology. Another important thing is the socio-economic aspect. So this is the one important thing, but we have also studied on this area. Number of the housing unit and the inhabitants. So generally the inhabitants are generally 5 to 10 people they have living in these places. Still they are living near about 5 to 10 in this. If some houses has been occupied, so 5 to 10 people are living on these houses. Pattern of occupancies, generally the building have single room on the every floor with vertical when the single are there, and if double are there then the double occupancy is also. So every floor has been used by the single family, while the ground floor is used for the cattle or the grain storage, the upper are used for the living and bedroom. So this time the kitchen is generally on the top floor. What we have found is one other important disaster resilience feature. So they have used this kitchen at the top floor, so that if some fire is broke down, so there is no loss to the peoples. Also, peoples are living in the middle, two or three say, second floor or the third floor. They are generally they generally want to take for the living, and then the top floor is completely for the kitchen activities. So then the kitchen activity, and this is the kitchen activity is also for the wooden kind of the things are there. So if some fire can be broke out, then at the top floor it can be, the people are also survive at that case also. This is the one important feature what we have found. In the some of the buildings, the dry toilets are also located at the cantilever part. So this is the one unique thing, because sometimes when I have talked about some Gorkhas or English peoples have been attacked to these people, so they have prepared for this thing, and they have made this dry toilets. You can see this is the dry toilets. So there is a hole, and there is also we have found some arrangement inside it, so that they can directly go there and they can bath it, and they can also use as a toilet. So this kind of the arrangements are also they have placed on this at the outhouse. So this is the socio-economic aspect, and I think they have very wise about these kind of the things, and they can analyze each and every things, and they have made this structure accordingly. Another is the economic level. So at that time, this construction, presently these buildings are nearly abandoned and nobody is using, but definitely this is a very rich class of the social peoples, and they have made these structures, and at that time of the construction, and because there's a 5-story building, 4-story building, this is one of the biggest kind of the structures which we have found in this area. Ownership is generally the ownership is a group or the pool up. Some of the like the floor wise they have occupied. Like some families there, so 2-3 brothers are there. So the one floor is for the one brother and another for the another. So these kind of the things they have already given. So this is the complete about these things, and now I am coming about my conclusions on these buildings after studying these buildings. The Koti Banar architecture attained its zenith around, as I have told, 1000 years back. So you can say that in the 10th, 11th, 12th century. and till now the 13th century, and before present is evident for the dating. We have done the dating of these material, and then we have found out that the age is near about 880 plus minus 90. So this is the one of the, we can say, the oldest structure in this region, and this is the unique architecture. And we have to be found out how they have, because it need more analysis about these buildings. We have to be very careful about these things, and this is the, we can say, this is the one of the indigenous knowledge of our ancestors, and we have to be understand these things, how they have done these things, and then how we can take it forward to our these other things for our other scientific development. The main constituent of the Koti Banara architecture style are, this is the simple layout of the structure. Very simple. You have seen that with either rectangular, square, or this kind of the structure they have made. Another important thing is the construction on elaborate solid and the raised platform. So this is the solid platform, in the solid foundation they have prepared always. We have never found any structure in the any of the loose soil or any of the other places. Judiciously use the locally available building material, because they have used the locally. Nowadays we are talking in the disaster management, the nature-based solution. What is the nature-based solution? Nature-based solution, you don't harm the nature. You use the material or whatsoever present nearby, and then use very judiciously for your daily use purposes, or for your living, for your any kind of a thing. So the wastage are very less. So these people know about these things. So they have only used the wood, which are abundantly available, which are used very widely on these areas, and also the wood, some of the stones also there. Incorporation of the wooden beam all through the height of the building at the regular intervals. So this is a very important feature, which nowadays we are saying that the beams and columns and the confined masonry, and we can say that the bands at the different level, at the plinth level, at the lintel level, at the sill level, we are saying that in the load masonry building this will be provided. So this is a very important feature that they have involved there. A small opening also, we are also saying many times in our to our architecture people also, and to the structural fraternities also, the small opening should be recommended for these kind of the structure. And another important thing is the shear wall. So this is the very important part. You have found that the shear keys are there. So now in the high-rise building, now we are giving that the shear walls are very important for the earthquake resisting feature. So this is my last slide. The Koti Banara architecture need to be studied and documented in much more detail. So this is my recommendation, and I think NITTR will be taken also some initiatives to study about these kind of the things. And intricacies of this age-old structure construction style have been potential for the unfolding a new line of the construction that might be the better suited even in the present ground realities of the region. So we have to be check out the intricacies of these age-old structure, and we can derive some of the new techniques on some of this. We can give some more insight about to our codal provisions also, and to the government also, regarding to the government, that we can say that in the policy decisions we can give some these nature-based kind of the solutions, and we can give that the people to save these kind of the structures. And if we save these kind of the structures, so naturally these people, the income of the peoples can also be increased in this area, and also the beauty of these structures and the glory of these structures can also be retained. So thank you for this, and these are some of the report you can find out in our internet also, in our website also, and this is the housing report if you want to go more detail on this thing. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hemant. Thank you.